All right, good evening, everyone. The time is now 7:01. We'll kick off the Tuesday, May 12th, 2026 Montoursville Area School Board meeting with pledge of allegiance. Please rise if you can and join.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And perfect time to start the meeting.
Speak of the devil.
Glad that didn't. All right, roll call, please. Mrs. Reich.
Mr. Albert, absent. Mr. Badger,
Here.
Mr. Eisenhower,
Here.
Mr. Gardner,
Here.
Mr. Hausnick,
Here.
Mrs. Kling. Here. Mrs. Meyer. Here. Mr. Young
Here.
and Miss McCoy, sorry.
All right, for presentations this evening, we have Carrie Snyder from the nutrition group here. You want to come up and say something? All right, yeah.
Glasses.
So it's been a little bit, but I just wanted to, introduce, I have a new director that's training with me. She is not going to be taking over for me. She'll be, going to a local district when that opens up. But also we brought blueberry cheesecake pudding, so yeah. So accordingly, make sure you grab one of those. And as far as end of year numbers go, breakfast and a la carte are doing great. Lunches, we're starting to see a little bit of decline with the field trips and all that goes. That's typical for the end of the year, but we are thinking to do better than what we guaranteed at the beginning of the year. So that's exciting. And we're just looking forward to the end of the year stuff, end of year picnics coming up, and all that exciting stuff. So that's all I got tonight.
Before you go,
Yeah,
I actually have a question.
absolutely.
So with some of the changes going on in school lunches and whatnot, are we going to be able to offer the kids like whole milk, 2% milk and all that fun
I
stuff?
do. So about a month or so ago, we actually did start offering whole milk.
Okay,
So we don't have 2% right now, but we do have, fat-free flavored. So that was what it was. And then we still have 1% white and we are able to offer, whole white milk. So we started offering those at all of the buildings. And I'm not gonna say it was like the high school kids were pretty excited. You know, they were excited about it. The younger grades, they could care less.
They just want the chocolate.
They just-
yeah, that's what's gonna be my next question. Are we going to go to like 2% flavored, like chocolate instead of the?
Instead of
True.
free.
Yeah.
So I have to look into that. I don't wanna say, oh yeah, absolutely. If we are able to,
Okay,
then absolutely, because
Perfect.
we were excited about whole milk.
Oh, I would
Right
think-
now, it's just whole white milk.
okay,
That. So yeah, as soon as we got the approval, and yeah, and it was exciting because the milk companies were pretty quick with,
awesome.
they knew it was coming, so they were already in preparation. We were able to jump right on.
Fantastic. I know a lot of middle schools would be very excited when you get flavored more
Flavored.
than fat food.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. No. But great thing, make sure you guys enjoy your cheesecake.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, now on to our student representative. Sorry, it's been a long day.
You are far from it.
Yeah.
You got a few medals recently. I've heard that.
Well, it's nice to see you all again, especially on a nicer night than last time. Hopefully we don't get rained out again, but, well, not gonna look at that, I guess, but anyway. I just wanna talk about some things that have been going on lately in school, with our student body, and just tell you what's been going on. So to begin, we had our band and chorus concert recently, I believe they were May 6th, May 7th and May 5th, remember right? They were a great success, both of them. We had a very good turnout in both of those concerts and everybody involved did an amazing job. So I hope you guys were able to see it, but if you weren't, then maybe they'll catch you next time. Fingers crossed. We had our Hershey physics trip for the physics classes recently. It's pretty interesting. They measured a lot of the velocity and the G forces of the roller coasters of the machines there. And I mean, I went last year myself. It was definitely a fun trip, and you learn a lot more than you think being there. So I can guarantee that they had a great time there, and they surely had a great educational experience as well. And then the last thing I have for you guys today is on May 8th, we had our social studies fair, which was a new event that our ROCAP, our National Social Studies Honor Society, did. It's very similar to the science fair at the middle school, except they had some of our ROCAP members coming to the call and giving presentations on some history topics, psychology, all sorts of social studies topics, and it seems like it had a very good turnout and it was very well received in the high school and the middle school. So hopefully they'll do that again next year. But that's all I have for you guys tonight. Oh, one more thing. Make sure to wish everybody luck who's taking AP exam because they have been working very hard lately. So thank you very much for your time tonight.
Thanks, sir. Thank you. All right, just reading of the minutes, approval of the regular meeting minutes for April 14th, 2026, and the special meeting minutes from May 5th, 2026. I'll take a motion to approve those.
Motion approved.
Second. Any comments on those? All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed. Thank you much. So take us to our first public comment portion of the evening. This is for residents and taxpayers. Comment matters of concern, official action or deliberation before the board. We just ask that you please state your name and your address when you come on up to the podium.
Yeah, Callahan, 113 North Street, Arizona. Yeah, it's Wenzel that was the state champ in wrestling, and it's the all-time leader in wins for Arizona wrestling. I'd like to see him honored at a football game next year. He can do it before they start wrestling down at West Virginia. See him at the weekend, see him introduced and see what the picture of you got to go out the wall. And I'd like to see the track and the field see the different people and records of the people that was out there, but it wasn't up to date. I'd like to see that up to date, the track and field things. I'd like to see there was Dave Otter, he was in my class. He had the record for the high hurdle, but they don't give the high hurdles anymore. And Steve Shear's boy did the thing over the water and all that stuff. I came with, I like to see his as a record out there too. And I'd like to see 2026 on the scoreboard for graduation too. It was 2 years back, and then last year I forgot. I didn't do it in the tell to put 25 in. The 26th is this year, and I'd like to see it on the scoreboard. It would do it that other stuff that's around. It's on the scoreboard. It could be solved by everybody, and it could be something to it. Alright, that's it.
Residential, I just want to find out, what do they put it on the land, do they do? Because they're gonna slowly, and the lady next door needed some help, because she couldn't put a gentleman mowing her grass and lawn, I was at home, can you hear me?
No, again,
Not very well.
I couldn't hear you when you were turned around.
Well, that's exactly my point. I want you to know that the people are sitting back here with the bats, with no microphones. I'm not, I haven't been here, I've been on the online thing. Since there's not a microphone here. That's disrespectful to the people that do it, and if they can't do anything. I think I probably got three words and said, the other fellow, where do you go? I said, and, you know, I didn't do a very use of it, you know? It's disrespectful, is that what people say? It's disrespectful. And I think that you, well, then put these microphones back up. You couldn't hear me, could you? My back was to you. That's exactly what we're doing back here. What I wanted to say was, you know what? I was thinking of home to get changed. I was mowing. I'm starting to mow because they basically wait. So I started to mow myself, said, I'm the reason I on the person. And the lady next door came out and asked if I would mow her grass because she can't afford to have anybody do it in the community lawn. I know there's gonna be a property tax increase, I know it's probably falling in deaf ears, but I object. And I want to make clear the vision. Thank you. And my name is Kathy Burns, and I'm from Muncie, Pennsylvania, in case you didn't know.
Ron Snell, Lord Mayor. First thing I want to say is, I asked a question the last board meeting and I have yet to get an answer. And it had to do with 4.4, either 4.3 or 4.4 on the agenda. It had to do with an agreement with PSBA. And in that agreement. In that agreement, under fees, invoicing, and good standing, it says the annual fee for the services for each program year shall be stated on PSBA's applicable invoice fee schedule, renewal notice, dues, materials, and other written notice provided by PSBA to member. Member shall indicate its selection of the applicable program or programs and shall pay the corresponding fees. That doesn't tell me what those fees are. And nobody on this board asked what those fees were. Yet you approved a contract, an agreement with PSBA without knowing what the fees were. The next thing I wanted to cover is there is going to be a motion for fund transfers in the amount of almost $33,000. And it says that the transfer is to use unused zero eyes funds for another purpose. How can you have, first of all, I don't know what zero eyes is, and I'd like to know what that is. And second of all, how can you have $33,000 left over? Is it something that was deleted? Or is it something that somebody come to the board and said, we need this X amount of dollars, but when they didn't need X amount of dollars? And the last thing I want to say is, I'm still holding out hope that somebody on this board ask the administration to take this budget back and come back with a new budget that is closer to being a balanced budget. Because I have heard nothing, absolutely nothing about trying to make it a balanced budget. Other than, okay, we got fund balance, so raise taxes and use some of the fund balance. I want to see the administration come back with a budget that is closer. It might not be balanced without using the fund, any fund balance. But it needs to come back closer than what it is. Right.
The PSBA dues invoice is $16,109.18.
Can I ask you, Dan, why that wasn't on the agreement?
Because they didn't include it. I don't know why PSBA, each district has a different invoice. So it's not a standard fee across the 500 districts in PA. The fund transfers, which we're going to get into later, I'm going to ask that you vote on those each individually. Zero Eyes is a weapons detection system, and that's all I'll say about it because it is safety and security. There was money budgeted for it in Sebastian's budget. We had a grant through PCCD that covered that. So that money is sitting there. I brought to the board a decision for them to make on whether to repair the media system at McCall that's been broken for 5 years. And again, we'll talk more about it when we get to that point. I just saw it as an opportunity to fix something and maintain rather than run out and buy new in a few years and actually have a budget impact. So I think those were your questions. As far as the third, that's up to the board. We did have some of that discussion. Any reduction in that deficit will come at the cost of people, and people are programs. So you have to weigh that fine line of good stewards of the taxpayers and operating programs for our students.
Dan, I want to thank you for chiming in on those two questions I had. I wouldn't need to ask them questions if it was up front from the beginning.
Well, the Zero Eye, that will be an upfront discussion here at the meeting. I remembered your question. I didn't get to it. It's been a week. And I mean, it's been a week, and it's been a week since we last met, so.
Well, again, thank you for the.
I have it on my list of things now. I can check that off, so I don't have to answer you in text or email, so.
All right, seeing no one else in the room, we'll go to Zoom. If you would like to make a comment, please raise your hand. All right, no hands were raised. That'll close that public comment portion, and we'll move to the business manager's report. Mrs. Reich.
You have received copies of the treasurer's reports for the period ending of April 30th, 2026 for the general fund, cafeteria fund, capital projects, and the activities accounts. We're submitting these to the board for your consideration for approval.
I'd take a motion to approve those.
Motion to approve.
Second. Any comments, questions?
I just want to thank you. I think I do it like every single time, but I thank you for breaking this down a little bit more cohesively. I like that. Thanks.
Dan has a good hand in that as well.
Thank you both. I appreciate that.
That's very helpful.
It is.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed.
All right, next. It would be approval of budgetary transfers. So you have received copies of the budgetary transfers for the general fund, We are submitting these to the board for your consideration for approval. Here's one.
Call timeout before you plow through those.
Yep.
I'd like to take each of those. You have BT1, BT2, and BT3 listed. Some of those actually could just be awareness, but I want you guys taking action on it because of some of the amounts of money. So I'd like to take BT1 separate from BT2, separate from BT3. So if there could be a motion and second on BT1, then we
You
can.
want to do that for each one.
Yeah, I want to do that for each one.
That's just standard vote, no roll call on that one.
Standard. And then we can discuss once we have the motion and second.
All right, we'll take a motion to approve BT1, the middle school transfers for trips and competitions.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions or comments on that?
So as building budgets are put together, their best guesses and estimates. Sometimes categories run under, sometimes they're over. What Mr. Myers is doing is just transferring some funds to cover some academic competitions. We did better than projected and needed a little bit more for supplies since costs are up.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed. BT2, Tyler Technology Support Hours and Middle School Common Projects. I'll take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second. Any questions or comments on that?
One,
Go.
you can.
You're gonna answer the question.
I hope so.
This is just for this is for the speakers, right?
This is for, so when the middle school was renovated, they put in TVs and a projector and a screen on the stage in the commons area. All of that has quit and stopped working. We tried some cheap repairs. That has not done it. We've tried some wireless repairs. That hasn't fixed it. So they have no large gathering space where they can project and teach and present to a large group. There's also a case when outside groups come in, there's no way to project in that area. We got quotes to fix this, replace it as is, and that came over well over 60 grand. There was another one over 100,000. The cheapest was 60. We rethought the whole room by pivoting it and setting it up something like this rather than a drop down screen and a projector, which is a huge cost. We looked at a new number of that it's $29,264.99. Because we did not spend money in the tech budget on Zero Eyes, we saw this as an opportunity to fix that. It's been down for at least 5 years that I can recall, and would allow them then to have that space. So an example I can give, we're required to do a safe to say training annually with kids. You can't bring grade levels down to a space at the middle school and run through that training. It's all done individually in teachers' rooms, and it's mixed messages. Because as you spread that out, you get different ways of presenting the material. So that would help us do that. The other thing that's in there, we needed some extra Tyler Technology Support Hours. So that's in there as well. You could separate those two out if you agree with the support hours and not the commons fix. But that's essentially it.
So with this whole fix, are you doing small screens like this, or are you doing it with like an LCD projector?
You have-
Like,
It's
would you-
basically going to be TVs like this. In McCall right now, it currently has the TVs along the side and the big projector.
Right.
We're gonna spin that room around and put one large TV in the back in place of having a projector, and then some smaller TVs on the side.
Cause I was gonna ask if there were, like, you get like if there's the capability of, even a smaller LCD hooked up to computer computer and being up there. Do you know what I'm saying? And hooked into a sound system.
So basically, that's what it's going to be. It's just gonna be like a HDMI port on the wall. We'll
Right,
probably
but
put
just
a
in-
Chromecast on it for wireless and it'll just put TVs there.
Yeah.
But we still have to make it, a lot of the cost comes into just the panel and the wall jacks and making it easy for people to come in and use it.
Well, I was gonna say, that's what sort of what I was asking is the hookup component of it is that you can come in and hook up to it.
We're also taking on a lot of that work ourselves too, to help with the cost a little bit.
Yeah,
They're gonna run the wire, I'm gonna hang the TVs, we're trying to get some of that down. the best we
Right.
could.
It's been deferred maintenance and it's just not something that's gonna make
I
it,
agree.
make
I
it in
just was
budget.
asking.
So there was an opportunity here and
well, I was
That's-
just
that's
asking if
why it's
that was
here.
the capability, if
Yeah,
it was to
yeah.
be hardwired so that you can present from, or even screen share type situation. That-
very similar to this,
Okay.
this one.
Cool.
All right, hearing no other comments, all in favor say aye. Aye, all opposed. BT3 timpani for the concert band. I'll take a motion to approve that.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions, comments?
Did this come in under what you, cause when I looked at it, it's cause it wasn't originally like around 12 to 16 and
Yeah,
now
besides
it's at,
12.5.
am I doing funny math?
No.
I'm at 7 too.
Yeah, 7.
No, there's some already in that equipment budget.
Okay, so
Yes,
this is what we're transferring some.
Yeah.
Okay, so we already had some already budgeted for. it.
yeah, there's some in new equipment.
Okay.
We're transferring more to that category. The Timpani Sides is giving a fantastic deal of 12.5 on. Chris Morgan had set this up as part of his fundraising campaign. Last time we purchased timpanis were 32 years ago. So we've far exceeded the life of the current timpani. Again, we're shifting unused budget money around
Okay.
to make this purchase. I feel it shouldn't be a fundraising. We have a concert band. We should support that and get the timpani for them.
So the total price is gonna be 12.5.
12.5.
It's a pretty good deal. It's a good deal.
Especially if it lasts for another 32 years, right?
So I can go 16 to 24,000 when that first request
Yeah,
came
that's the
across
first
and I
number,
was
yeah.
like, Yankees, no offense.
Try to get blood out of stone for this set.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed.
Thank you.
Thank you for the details.
Sorry, I messed you up.
No, I guess
Yeah.
I got it. I think I just wanted to make sure I had all that. Okay, we're good. So presentation. All right, so you have received copies of the listing of the invoices for the general fund, the capital project, and the cafeteria fund for the period ending of May 12th, 2026. We're submitting these to the board for your consideration for approval and payment.
Take a motion to approve those.
Motion to approve.
Comments, questions? That roll call vote, please.
So Mr. Badger,
Yes.
Mr. Eisenhower,
Yes.
Mr. Gardner,
Yes.
Mr. Hausnick,
Yes.
Mrs. Kling. Yes. Ms. McCoy,
Yes.
Ms. Myers,
Yes.
and Mr. Young.
Yes.
All right, so I have some more stuff to show everybody. We got some different numbers in. Our the homestead information came in from the assessment office. And not finding the. It's on the G.
This one.
Yeah. That one. Nope. I had to find PowerPoint.
I'm just saying that.
Okay. So again, I did get some different numbers, so I did do some adjustments into the previous numbers that you guys were seeing. Right here, you're gonna see our local revenue. So the real estate assessment office sent me the finalized totals for Mentorsville Area School District. That number actually ended up changing. So the previous amount that I had used in there was from October of 2025. So I was waiting until I received these numbers. So that $12,728,760 is off of that October 2025 number. I received the email actually today from the assessment office, so I got that information plugged in. It did go down. So our original estimate that I had in here was 8 million. Oh my goodness. $839,020,540. And then the new total now is $838,513.60. So it did decrease by over 507,000. And that's our assessed values. So it did drop. Now, I also put in that budget, I did increase it. And I did put it the millage at the 17.65. So originally, when you saw the budget, it was at the 17.09 with no tax increase. I did put in the 17.65. That's why the figure you see right now is still increasing by $437 and $437,260. That was one of my biggest changes that I wanted to make sure that I had in there for you guys. You're gonna see nothing else changed. Those figures stayed the same. And then nothing else over here in the local revenue, everything stayed the same, there was no changes there. So that changed that local revenue and it increased $19,488,220. So there's your increase of the $437,260. So our state revenue. You're gonna see right here where the state share FICA. That actually did increase by the $300. That is because after board approval, I started sticking in some of the salaries of the people that were board approved by you guys. So that way I have a more accurate number. I'll show you all of that in the expense side of it. So of course that affected that FICA reimbursement as well as that other income from state. If you look down below here at the bottom, that's $7,800. It's a $1,150 increase there. That's gonna be the retirement. And then here is the state property tax reduction allocation. So we got that figure in. I actually got that figure with my homestead information on May 1st. So the number that I was using, that $893,240 was, of course, the previous and previous year's allocation. So our new allocation for that is $893,980. That's an increase of $740. This goes to the taxpayers. This is our the slots funds that the state actually collects in and then divvies out. So that way now I'll be able to, if a taxpayer has a homestead or a farmstead application into the assessment office, we'll be able to apply this towards their property tax and it will reduce it. So those were the changes there. Again, it was an increase of $2,190 here. So that's the figures that I touched there. So federal funds, they've stayed the same. We're not gonna see anything on that. So here's the expenditures. I wanted to make sure I showed. So on 5.2, I have actually what I had originally showed you guys, and then my changed figures on 5.12 in the next column here. So you'll see where the salaries did increase by $6,806. That is our board approved changes within our staffing. So that was our resignations. Any of those resignations, what I end up doing is actually taking that position, I pull it back down to the starting wage. Any of the new hires that we did hire on, whatever rate that was hired on, I got that inserted into our salaries. And then we do have some education level movement. So professionals moving from a bachelor's to a master's, they do get a different side of the steps. So of course, with that movement, you're going to see a little bit of change in benefits. So you're going to see that did increase by $1,020. Here for our 500s, I did make an adjustment here. I did increase that by 3,000. There's some trainings that our armed security should really go to. So I started assessing some of the stuff that they need to be present for, and it was only allocated at about 3,000. So I did increase that to 6 so we can get them to those trainings. These are very beneficial. These are different active shooter trainings, things like that. And that way all of them can go, not just 2. I want to make sure that they'll all be able to get there. So I thought that was important. 600, I didn't realize some of the equipment for this security are on a revolving rotation. So they have a 5-year replacement cycle for some of their stuff. That actually is going to fall 26, 27, and I did not have that accounted for. So that is now in here. So I increased that by 7,000 to be able to accommodate that equipment replacement. I believe those are the vests. And then here in your 700, your property, it was the same kind of a thing. There is a uniform rotation for our sports teams. One of our sports teams is due for those uniforms. It was not allocated in the budget, so we have that inserted in. So we actually increased that by 9,000 to be able to get those uniforms for those students. And then there was no changes in your 800s or your 900s. So you'll see that that did increase our expenditures by 26,826. So the new number there for expenditures is 37,889,416. So this slide's just showing you the comparison. You guys are familiar with the project millage build-in, which is that $467,500. That money does not sit in the general fund. This money sits in capital reserve. This is sitting there ready to be used towards the bonds. So when you look at our revenues and our expenditures, as you can see, our revenues are definitely lower than our expenditures. So we're looking with the tax increase, you're looking at a deficit of $890,904. I have your totals down there at the bottom. So when I use that $467,500 to be able to pay those bonds, that deficit will actually go down to $423,404. But remember, that money's sitting over in capital reserve, not in general funds. So I wanted to make sure I showed the difference. So here, our fund balance.
Pause for questions
Oh, sure.
before you get into fund balance. That's all out there.
Yeah. I was allowed to. Do we have
Any questions?
any questions?
Listen, I'm still mulling.
Here, I'm gonna actually, I need to let you guys know, I did miss something in the fund balance. So you're gonna see on this slide, it's gonna reflect something different. So our June 30th of 2025, our 24-25 audited figure for our fund balance was at $4.9 million. What I didn't take into consideration is when we transferred that 705,478, which was that increase between 23-24 and 24-25 fund balance. We moved that money into capital, so that money's in capital sitting, no longer sitting in the general fund. So when I started putting all my slides together, I missed reducing that fund balance by that amount. So I wanted to make sure I showed everybody what it actually should look like. So this was on me. I did miss that because that was something that happened in the beginning. We had that transferred out on February 10th, as you can see. So 24-25 audited number was the 4.9 million. We still had the same unassigned balance, excuse me, and the same assigned balance of the 359,550. But I have to take that 705 because it no longer sits in the general fund. It sits over here in capital. And then of course, the numbers are still the same with the estimated budget that I did for 25-26 at a gain of 50,000.
But do we still have that after we're doing the 33,000 that we just did? Like, so we had extra budget, right? That we're reallocating to other places.
Yes.
Is that part of that 51,000?
The 51,000 for this? No.
Okay.
No, so this 25-26 is pretty much what we're looking at in the current year budget.
Right.
That I'm going and saying, all right, we're projecting to see these expenses are coming under, or the
Okay,
revenues are coming over. So this 705 has nothing to do with it because it was funds for 24-25.
Right, I got that part.
But at that 51, yes.
This is, sorry, I just zoomed in, sorry, touch screen.
Yeah, but this is, so originally, 25-26 showed a deficit when it was passed.
Yes.
So I went in and did some estimates on our expenses and on our revenues.
Right.
Which basically, all right, we were over expensed here, but we're
coming
under
Right.
in our expenses, but we're going over in our revenues. So in the areas that I knew and could project out, I went and adjusted those and showed a 51,126 where we're gonna be to the good in
Right.
revenues
Right.
in current budget, in general fund.
Okay, all
Yes.
right, that,
Does that help?
yes, thank you.
So then that changed our projected fund balance then for the June 30th of 26. Now that's coming into 26-27, the budget we're looking at changed that fund balance to $4.2 million. Do you guys have any questions on that?
No, not on that.
No. All right, so then we're just gonna move in over into the millage summary. I left the no tax increase on here. And then I left that 2%, did the 3% that we're recommending that we do increase taxes to. The current budget revenue, I have that in here with the increases. So I went in and actually put the 17.47 to get that increase for your revenue. So as of right now, if you weren't doing any tax increase, your revenue would look at the 36,552,512. And then with the 2.2% increase, you're gonna look at the 36,854. And then with the one that you're recommending of the 3%, which is the 0.56 increase in millage, you're looking at 36,998,512. So I made sure I built in with the 467.50, remember that's sitting in capital, our current expenditures. What that's going to affect an actual taxpayer with our median for homestead is 121,000 for the average home. You're looking at, of course, if there was no increase, 0. If there was that 2% increase, you're looking at $46. And if it's the one that we are recommending at 3%, you're looking at an increase of 68. I tried breaking out what this was gonna look like with the 467 factored in and without. So I wanted to make sure you could see the excess of revenue and expenditures for no increase, the 2% and 3%. If you go with that 3% we're looking at, we'll look at that deficit of 423,404. But I wanted to reflect that, remember that money's sitting over here at capital, so the general fund's gonna reflect a deficit of 890,904. Do we have any questions on that? So I tried projecting it out with the corrected fund balance for 25-26 coming into 26-27 budget. So if we were to go with that 3% tax increase, we're still going to take a deficit. That deficit's actually going to reflect this 890,000 that you saw before. Because it's general fund, you'll look at the fund balance then adjusting down to 3.3 million. So we would take a hit on that fund balance. If you were to do no tax increase, you're going to reduce that fund balance down to 9.9 million. And then I also, within doing PDE and doing all of my reporting, I figured out that 8% cap. So that's actually all on our 26-27 figures. So it was taking our estimated ending funding balance for 26-27, which I have it figured out at 3,909,105 with the committed funds of 359,000. Our total expenditures, so we fall under that 8% cap at 7.94% for being able to do a tax increase in our fund balance. And that is it. I just wanted to let you guys know the final budget will be on the agenda for June 9th of 2026. Do you have any questions?
The millage increases of 0.38 and 0.56, are they? You said something about 2% last time versus 3%, you just put in 2.2. Is that actually the percentage 2.2?
It's actually, when you figured it all out, it was 2.2% and 3.3%. I'm not sure how it worked out that way, but.
The next one was 4.4.
Yes, and the next one was 4.4.
Sebastian.
So our Act One index, oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I feel like they put Sebastian on the spot a lot tonight, but I'm gonna ask you another question. How much is it costing us? I know we're replacing the Chromebooks and the iPads on K in first. Is it K first and second or just K first?
We're replacing iPad with Chromebooks in K and 1.
Right.
This. I don't remember here.
That's okay.
Lots of moving pieces. I believe this was a year that we were not going to replace any Chromebooks at all. This was like a gap year.
Right.
So typically we would be spending X amount. And instead we'll be doing getting the Chromebooks in place of the iPads. There is, I want to say, I don't want to throw random numbers out there.
I know,
without having
I'm
it in front of
sorry,
me,
just
so
totally put you on the spot.
I don't know.
Are we doing 1-to-1?
Yes. Long term, there will be a very small amount of savings in switching to Chromebooks from iPads.
I'm going a different direction. You know where I'm going with that question is if we're doing 1-to-1, I don't know why. First off, I don't know why we have Chromebooks for every single kid in kindergarten and first grade. That's just my thought process, less time on screens. So look, even the students are brain. So I guess as I'm looking at it and we're replacing 1-to-1, is there any thought, I mean, and I'm just like asking, is there any thought in doing 10 per, right? Cause you know what I mean? Like per classroom. And rather than a one-to-one, because I know when I brought it up before, it was, well, some kids need some specialized this and that. Okay, I get that. But, I mean, from an elementary school education, why we're talking budget, since we are in the midst of replacing, and that's probably built into this, right? I think it's a great time not to put screens in front of 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds for all the school day and actually have them with pen to paper. And again, I know that for some reasons there needs to be some availability. We don't need them for PSSAs for kindergarten and first graders, so there's that part of it. Is there a thought process in those classrooms of making 5 or 10 of them available, and if they need to do that one-off training, that's fine, or whatever skill set for those advanced or otherwise. But it's an opportunity, one, save money by not replacing them, and two, get our kids away from screens at that little age when they don't need them. In fact, they shouldn't really be in front of them. It's not, there are tons of studies showing that it's not ideal. And while we're at it, we need more recesses, but that's a whole other story, that's a cost budget. But as we're sitting here having this conversation, that's one of the things that keeps popping into my head is, why are we going to spend money on something we shouldn't be putting in front of kids at that age in the first place?
The only input I have right now on that would be, it's a very valid question. It's something we should be looking at and considering as a school district. I think the majority of the answer to that is gonna be a curriculum question, that I wouldn't wanna weigh on that side of things.
Right.
And teachers.
And yeah,
That's a conversation to have with the classroom.
I don't think it's something that we should make last minute. So my recommendation would be, if that's a decision we wanna go, let's give it a year and plan for it and do it right. Because those tools have been in teachers' hands for long before the pandemic. The kindergarten teachers have been using iPads long before that. And back in those days, they were not one-to-one.
Right, I was just gonna say that, Sebastian,
They
having had 2 kids go
utilized them.
through later during pandemic, and they were not one-to-one at all. That happened in 2020 is when every kid got a Chromebook, because in kindergarten and first grade, my daughter was in first grade at 2020, son was in third. Neither of them had the constant of a screen in front of them. They didn't at all. I was gonna say definitively in 2018, I was just gonna say that was Quinn. They did not, and I don't even recall her really using station, right? There were some little stations, but it wasn't big on the curriculum. To that matter, is that the first time I even heard on that we were replacing them was only a few weeks ago, maybe 2 months, like we'll give it grace 2 months ago, so. I would have brought it up far much sooner, as I'm finding out that we're replacing. I don't know. But
And the kids, they're not on them all day. I think we have the ability to pull screen time now. We can get that data for you.
It's
I think
limited.
you'll find that
It's limited at those grade levels of
Yeah.
what we can pull, because they're using iPads rather than Chromebooks.
right,
Like,
and it's
generally-
it's much harder to pull that way.
Is the cost of repairs on those iPads for those grades.
If
Them
we
getting
have-
damaged and cords missing and stuff like that at that age.
That's part of the reason we're moving away from iPads, is because they're not repairable, whereas Chromebooks are. So if a screen gets broken on an iPad, you might as well just replace the iPad.
So how are the iPads functional right now?
Yes.
Okay, so you can still do the curriculum if we hold on purchasing the Chromebooks for a year by using the iPads. Right,
Would change.
yeah, so you'd still, it'd be no reflection on curriculum, it'd be the teachers would have time. Perfect timing, new school will happen at that point too, so you'll have a whole new, so we could hold a year. And we'll have a curriculum coordinator, even better. I don't know, just thoughts.
I like your thought on holding.
It was only
They're
one impact
functional.
on education, that makes sense.
It's kindergarten at first, I can't imagine.
There's something happens to, isn't it on the parents to, if it breaks, to replace it, to pay for
It's
it?
not the parent.
It's insurance.
Why are parents on it?
No,
Yeah, like I thought,
no, you get a bill.
Yeah, if a iPad is damaged, and they have insurance, it's covered. If they don't have insurance, then we bill for the cost, whether it's a replacement cost or repair cost.
And we really need to not use school cafe for that insurance bill, because there may be some people in this room that didn't realize that's where, how to pay it. And may have a $22 bill. I mean, I was like, what? Although it is less than insurance. Anyway, that was a whole side note. I don't mean to derail your whole like changing of everything, and it's just, I didn't,
Just need to know the
I did
direction
not
we're
know,
going.
I didn't know that we were wholesale replacing. It's been on my mind, so as soon as you said it,
Basically, we replace.
it's been stuck in my head, Sebastian.
We replace a portion of our iPads every year, just as a continuing replacement
Which
cycle.
makes sense, I get that, so it's not all.
Instead of doing that, and while we had this year with no Chromebook replacements.
Right.
That's why I fit it in here. Next year, we're gonna be replacing other Chromebooks, so if we're adding these on top of it, you're gonna see a much bigger expense there. On top of other hardware.
Right, but
I
my-
plan out 5 years ahead.
Right.
And that's where it fit. So if we don't do it now, that's fine. If we do it next year, we just have to be ready for a bigger bill next year on top of the other expenses that we have.
Well,
Because
my
it's
goal is
gonna
actually
come
not to
out.
do it next year, so.
It works out that way, yes.
You're still gonna need something. It might not be one
That's-
to one, but you're still gonna need something. So the expense will be there.
So it would be, yeah, but it's the difference in having 20 per. And then instead of having 5, so I mean, it's still,
10, whatever the number is, you're still having an expense. It's out of the cycle that he has planned for.
Throw a kick in it, just go back old school.
right? Why not? I don't think it can hurt.
We're not
right?
equipped to jump.
I don't think it can hurt.
I mean, we're not equipped to jump that quickly into.
Get some sharpeners back in the room, Joe, on the wall.
They're there, they're still there.
It all comes back to you.
They'll still be on me.
Tyler has his head down, he's like, why do they control me? She's completely upending all elementary school. See what
Only
happens
K1,
to a
only
budget?
K1.
Taking notes.
Right. That's on my list too.
I think it would be beneficial for the kids in K-1 to learn the fundamentals of Keeper instead of
It's-
already getting screen
It's
time.
right, I was gonna say, it's eye-hand coordination, it's dexterity, it's fine motor skills, like there's so many things that get lost. And their eyesight, gosh, trust me. I don't think they all need blue screen glasses. I happen to, so
Oh, yeah.
I put eyebrows in. Sorry, I didn't mean to completely derail, but it's been in my head. I wasn't sure how much it costs, and then I was just like, as we're barreling toward a large deficit, I'm like, is it necessary to replace them? Especially with the fact that I don't think you need one-to-one Chromebooks for kindergarten and first graders. Quite frankly, I'd throw second graders in there too, if you're being honest,
Talking about $77,000.
to replace them,
That's for KN1, all the
the Chromebooks.
versus I wanna say 18 or 20,000 every year for iPads.
Okay. So 77,000?
Yes. $77,660 for 215 Chromebooks, 50 keyboards and pens. for KN1.
How many?
It'd be 215 Chromebooks with 50 keyboards and pens.
And what do we spend on average every year replacing Chromebooks? The year that we do the replacements.
I wanna say I got us down to 208 Chromebooks per year, except for this coming year, which I was skipping. If we just assume
So roughly the same.
It's right around the
Okay.
same,
Yeah,
right
roughly
around like
seven.
70,000, because it's like just a few
Seven
different,
different.
which is why they're replacing them, because it's the same as every.
Yeah, we're trying to keep it level so that we're not having big spikes here and there when we need to
So
replace
transfers
things.
in a whole loop for you.
That's in our budgets. It's like a tariff fee, we put sharing fee.
You honestly really should. It was going so well, wasn't it? Like everyone's like, she doesn't ask a lot of questions this year, it's all good.
You know, as there, where I work, we were gonna do laptop replacements for some of the employees and the distributors for laptops said later in the year, the cost of laptops would potentially double because of tariffs and all the other fees. Are we potentially see that with Chromebooks or? do we-
Seeing a lot of instability right now for Chromebooks and computers, and one of the things I'm keeping an eye on is we're replacing all of our teacher Chromebooks next year. Now, the good thing about that is we're not planning to do it all this summer. We're gonna do it slowly over the year, so I'm gonna keep an eye on that and try to
Try to get out of it.
get a sweet spot, but it's kind of like guessing the stock market too. You don't know where the prices are.
So
gonna end up.
there's a potential that that 70K for Chromebooks next year could be 80K.
Could be. That's last time I've talked to them is that particular model hasn't been hit hard. But again, you don't know what's gonna
That's what-
happen and
Like 360 per, right? Is that where you're at?
that what it comes out to.
It's
I don't
it's
know.
around there, it was a guesstimate, I was just like sitting there. I'm doing my fuzzy math.
And some of that is also licensing that's required and isn't part of it.
Motion to.
We decide on budget unit. So if we want to remove that from the budget, we have to do a motion to remove that. At this point, I don't know if I'm inclined to do that because we're already planned on 70K to replace laptops, so next year it's 147K.
If you do one to
more.
one,
If we do one to one.
if you don't, if you do 5 per, then it's only an additional 15, if you do 10 per, it's an additional 30, thanks. It's been a long week, it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's an additional 30. So, but you're also saving 77 this year when we're.
All the iPads, you won't get the full 70 because there has to be back to the iPad.
Well, no, he said they're functional, that they were just
We decide
replacing.
not to replace any. Typically, we would keep replacing a little every year because what's gonna happen if we don't is we're gonna end up with a
You're
bunch of
out.
old iPads that we then have to replace all at once.
Right.
So there
But
should
if
be
we-
some number for replacements. For next year. I don't know what that number is. It won't be the full, would you say 18 to 20? Is what you typically do?
1,000, yeah.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be that full amount, but there's gotta
I
be.
think I was
some-
replacing 60 iPads a year times a little over $300.
Wouldn't need that. But some numbers should go in.
Random thought, if we purchased the 215, they don't all have to be allocated to K1, right? Can we?
They do because they're gonna be the touch screen. They're basically look like iPads. They're little tablets for the younger kids instead of having a full Chromebook.
Which is why you have the keyboards and the pens. I'm just saying it's the difference between like going at 0.38 and 0.75 too. We all know.
No, my initial concern is that 300 and whatever dollars per Chromebook is gonna be potentially 500 next year.
Or it could be lower.
Yeah. I don't know the way that things are going. I don't feel good about
I have
that.
no idea.
General consensus from everyone, what are your thoughts, John?
Okay. Question.
You know?
Talking specifically.
I think the younger the kids are, the less screen time they should be exposed to. They get enough of it at home. And I mean, I work at the high school in Muncie as a nurse. And I don't know what the statistics are in the elementary school. But I see kids coming in for headaches all the time. And I know it's because of the lights and the screen time. They spend 8 hours every day. And I don't think it was like that 25 years ago.
Yeah, I don't disagree. But the curriculum currently is set up to be used on electronics, so unfortunately, correct? Like, we can't just take them away.
How much are kindergartens and first graders using those?
They're not on it the entire day. They use it for their iReady MyPaths and they're supposed to 45 to 50 minutes a week. That's
15 minutes and then any other
Right,
supplemental.
so even from that standpoint, you don't need a 1-for-1 in the whole class.
Depends on how the teacher runs their classroom. I mean, it depends on if you're doing small group. I think it's a teacher conversation.
Yeah.
Like it could derail how how you teach, how you deliver your instruction. But everybody's different, so. Could somebody make it work with having 5 and having these kids do their 15 minutes in a small group for 15 minutes and then rotate? Yeah, probably. Some teachers do a whole group at one time, they're all doing it and they go around, they help the kids out that are struggling, so. Again, I think it's a teacher conversation.
Can our curriculum be taught? Okay, iReady, which that's a whole other ball of wax.
That's another bad
That's
word,
a
right?
whole other falls right into everyday math for me, but that's okay. Whole other ball of wax. Is our curriculum offline at all, or is it dependent on online for our kids? Like, is it, what I'm asking is
The
it?
MyPath and iReady is online. There's no off ramp to go paper with that.
And then our teachers have it on their book online, their teacher workbook online that they project to their smart board, and they use that for like their direct instruction part, but the kids still have their math book in front of them.
Right, yeah, so
They
yeah,
also
teachers,
have
I don't care, they can do.
They have a
yeah.
toolkit they can print.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that's
But the
fine.
MyPath that 3 diagnostics are based on, in math, there's no other option than online. And it's 45 minutes at most. If they're exceeding it, it defeats the purpose of it. If they're too far under, it defeats the purpose of it. The sweet spot is that
45 minutes.
45 minutes a week. So some teachers, that's the first thing, 15 minutes, they do MyPath, and then the rest of the day is their day. Sometimes they don't even get back on the device. So.
Do they take them home with them at night? So I mean. And is it possible to use the Chromebook and iPads synchronously at the same time? If we don't do a 1-for-1 swap, if there's 10 Chromebooks, can we use 10 iPads?
And you get into all the supplemental apps that are on the devices, then you're running.
Just imagine being a teacher and trying to give kindergartners an explanation how to do something, and half of them are using one thing and half are using something else.
My kids are 17 and I can't get them to do things, so I guess.
How much of a headache for a teacher would it be to have them in stations or rotations?
Probably try to have a
Again,
teacher out and sit them.
Yeah, you have, that's a conversation we'd have to have with staff on.
I mean, I guess my opinion on it would be keeping that. But not moving forward and maybe figuring out more, but having that because of the fact that there's the possibility that next year that's still gonna be needed, I guess. But as a parent of an incoming kindergartner, yes, like I know that there's technology, there's a piece of it, but the less emphasis that we have on Chromebooks and iPads, the better for me, in my opinion too.
So the Chromebooks that you replace every year, are they just by attrition, or do we have ones that still work fine? It's just we move on to a newer, better running machine, or I know most of them are damaged that we would probably get rid of, but.
They get pretty worn out by the time, so Like I said, it's 280 every year is what I've been doing. And we just pull the, worst condition 280 out. We have a number over each school year that get completely destroyed or not usable. If you wait too long, there is like a hard set date where they won't be supported by online testing and various applications anymore. iReady won't work on them. And that's a like software coded thing. But we haven't reached that since before we went 1-to-1 devices because we're keeping them up to date.
Mr. Young?
I'm of the opinion that kindergarten to first graders, each kid doesn't need a Chromebook, so I would say cut them back to
I don't think they do.
a number that would suffice 10, 20 students in a class is our target number, correct? 2 per Chromebook.
Right, that's plenty.
So when you say cut back per Chromebook, are you thinking move forward with Chromebooks, but don't go 1-to-1?
Right.
And are you thinking of doing that right away this year, like this
Or
coming
we
year?
just hold and
Yeah,
get everything through.
the
to keep
preference would be
iPads.
to pause and investigate.
But just
Rather
don't,
than-
yeah, just don't.
I'm just saying my
replace them
thoughts.
this year. Use the iPads
Any
this
other
year.
knowledge?
Everyone have a conversation. And then next year, just know we may have to eat an extra
Each would be
30,000,
pausing
right?
then.
Especially with hacking and moving, there's a little bit of stress with that right now too, so.
Mr. Eisenhower, thoughts?
I agree, less time is possible. Never we were.
Darn.
I agree 100%. I mean, discussion is important with the teachers. So they understand where we're looking to go. I think everybody has the ability to make changes on how they do things to benefit a little bit. Everybody's got to give somewhere.
So we would need someone to make a motion to remove the 77K.
Probably should be me since I opened the can of worms. Motion to which.
Well,
one?
let me make sure we get it right.
All right.
Yeah, just motion to pause the Chromebook purchase,
Motion, okay.
not pause, but
To
remove
remove the Chromebook.
Chromebook purchase from
From
the-
the budget.
26-27 budget.
Motion to remove the Chromebook purchase from the 26-27 budget.
There you go.
There it is.
Actually, there's some other things that's gonna impact as well. It's not gonna be big, but do you need a motion for other changes to the budget?
This will get the general flavor of
Okay.
Just doing.
that purchase and
Software
anything
licensing,
associated.
that's
Oh, no, you
different
can
between-
keep that stuff.
Yeah, but it changes depending on if
Changes
it's
with
applying to an iPad
the
or a
device.
Chromebook, so it's
Oh,
gonna
right,
change
right, right,
numbers
right,
in the
yeah.
budget. So I just wanna make sure that you don't need
Gotta
it to
stay
take for
right.
everything that's gonna change.
I think we got the
That's what we
flavor
make
of
it talk.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Mr. Gardner seconded. Any final comments on that? All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Mr. Piper, thank you so much for the discussion. That's great info.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Sharon, thank you very much for bringing that up. All right, that was fun business.
I have a question, while we're talking about while we're looking at money and millage and increases, remind me of our healthcare premium increase for this year?
It was 9.9% it increased.
Which is essentially that 400
It was 400.
Mhm.
32,000 that you see as the deficit.
432?
That is controlled by the teachers union, correct?
No,
Whatever they
No.
agree, I mean, with the increase because of the insurance, they can't shop at them.
no.
We can't control where they shop for the health insurance, correct?
We're in the
We're in the
consortium.
consortium,
Yeah,
so we're,
so we can't control that. Just so everybody knows in the room,
correct.
it's out of our control what we choose for healthcare.
Yes, it's a consortium, so we can't, yes. Yeah.
We talked about moving some money to kind of shield us from those increases incoming in the next couple of years, because it's not gonna be there. that Piecers. Where is it?
Oh, you want the,
Yeah, that assigned committed Piecers employer contributions.
yeah, right now.
That's at 359, 550. That could be assigned and committed to healthcare costs in future budgets.
That might not be a bad idea.
That way you can buffer if they come in with a 12% increase next year, you can,
And if we're under, then we have
you know.
a number, which is good. Yeah.
So we used that when Piecers was climbing at ridiculous rates, 10 plus years ago. So it hasn't been touched, so that might be a good way to buffer us from healthcare costs in the future.
Yeah, so the exact total for that health insurance, the 9.9%, the exact total was 453,249.
453, 249.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So if that holds flat, we essentially have a balanced budget for you,
Right.
but it didn't hold flat.
And again, that's the number we have no control over.
All right, good discussion. Anything else from the business perspective? Got everything else needed? All right, we'll move on to administrative board reports. Mr. Blade, you're up, sir.
You've been sitting there long, so you think by now.
He has talked already, so maybe we should give him.
No, it's okay. So last week we spent, the week, it was Teacher Appreciation Week. So again, hats off to all of our teachers because they are in the trenches every day. They are working hard, planning their lessons, delivering their lessons, managing the classrooms. So I can't thank them enough for all they do, in all the schools, not just the Valley. Last night was our fourth grade, spring concert, between Light and Valley. They did a phenomenal job and, just happy that we're able to come together and pull that off for everybody. And I hopefully those kiddos, when they get to McCall, they join band or chorus and they keep up the good work. Field trip season. Third grade went to Camp Susquehanna the other day. They had a ball. Fourth grade's going to Penn's Cave Thursday. Kindergarten's going to Planetarium at LICO Thursday too. It's just that busy time of the year where they're getting out and getting some experience and I want to say enjoying the last couple days of the school year, but they're enjoying it. And then this Saturday is our first combined Spring Fest. Being later in the Valley, we're coming together. So many food trucks, food vendors, games, train ride, dunk tank. Come on out, 3:30 to 7 at McCall Middle School. Hopefully we'll see you all there.
You're gonna have a magician too.
There was a magician, my people wait in line, yep. I'll be in the dunk tank for an hour and a half, so.
You're gonna bust it.
I'll be able to get some and see your arm. I'll sound you.
Can I get like throw beach balls or something like bigger?
Whatever you wanted.
So we can just.
Just walk up and push it.
That's exactly what I just said earlier. So
Here's
walk up and
$20.
push it.
Just gonna sneak around back full level.
That's all I have.
Everybody's gonna hit.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Nalfo, anything from your end?
As you heard, yeah, it's been a bit very busy month with all that going on. I believe actually tomorrow, I think there's a choral concert in McCall. I think there's a band concert on Thursday at McCall, and then you got some spring playing. I want to thank Mr. Blaze also. He had an organization help us. We put some mulch up there and they spread it for us.
Oh, I
Which
did,
was
yeah,
brilliant.
yeah, Lycoming Valley Baptist Church, yeah. Thank you to them. They came up on Sunday on Mother's Day.
Yep.
With three tractors and they spread some mulch over the.
We appreciate that and that helps us.
Yeah.
Mr. Marco appreciates that too.
Bringing
it in the building.
Yeah.
And lower down sports a little bit, as he'll say, but we're getting on all the summer projects I'm starting to lay out, so that'll be coming soon to you, so.
Right. Thank you, sir. Mr. Piper.
I was like, I'm done.
Our focus has been on online state testing. We had PSSAs at McCall and the two elementary schools, and those are now complete. The second day of with fall testing, I think it was, we went down statewide, but otherwise it all went very well. Currently, assisting with AP testing and keystones at the high school, and that's what's up with the large pile of chargers around the room. Is this is one of the rooms that are used for testing, so my guys have been going around helping with all of that and making sure supplies like that are available, and that's been our focus.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Hammond.
Yeah, I want to give an early intervention update. So we're in the process of evaluating scheduling multidisciplinary team meetings to discuss programming for students that are coming from early intervention to school age for next school year. So I wanted to thank Wendy Baker, our school psychologist, and also Joy Snyder, our elementary speech therapist, because both ladies have been very busy going around to various early intervention schools and observing students as well as testing students to get them all ready for the upcoming year. We have about 15 students that will be coming to us in August, and we want to make sure that all services are in place and ready for them. So then also tonight, you'll have in your packet of information the extended school year estimated costs for the summer programming for your consideration. So we have a total of 47 students that will be receiving ESY services this summer. 39 of those students will be attending the IU programming at Schick Elementary School. 2 students will be attending the IU programming at the South Academy, and 3 at New Story. And then also we'll be having 3 students that will be receiving speech services in our district office with Joy Snyder providing those supports. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the update. Mr. Superintendent.
I have nothing to add. Anything I would add is bad news.
We're on a good run.
We'll go with no news.
All right, we'll move to general agenda items for the sake of time. I think we can combine all 7.1 through 7.13. Knock them all out if that's okay. If you do agree, then I'll take a motion to approve those.
Motion to approve.
Second. Any questions on any of that?
Yeah, I thought I have a question. What does the acronym DART stand for, the last 17 software?
I don't know, do you know?
I should. Yes.
We only ever refer to it as darts.
Just, no way. No, I literally. You know. It's just that area.
I would have to look into that.
No, and it's on stuff too.
Is it data and something?
I was thinking data.
It's our software.
Data and report tracking system.
There.
It's capital D, lowercase a, capital R, capital T, capital S. And that is for IEPs.
What that actually does is it hosts all of our special education paperwork in one place, as well as our 504 service agreements and our gifted paperwork also.
This job, Ms. McCloy, you stumped everybody. Great job, motion. There was, a motion, let's say.
Yes, there was.
Yeah, there was.
You can
We can go over it.
all
We
seven.
went all 13, yeah.
Well, 7:8.
Yeah.
Yeah, any other comments or questions on those? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. All right, personnel, I think we can combine 8.1 and 8.2 as well.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Questions, comments? All right, hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed.
And I would like to point out, Mr. Michael Hummel, new social studies teacher. Taking over from Mr. Hart is in the audience, so we welcome you. Congratulations.
Thanks.
He was through, it was like the old days. We actually were able to have teaching interviews where he was in front of our students. They were they chose him. and we were in agreement, so he's here today, so it was good to have such a large pool of qualified applicants that we haven't seen in quite some time, so welcome aboard. Do you have anything you wanna?
This is the first time I've been in a school board meeting, and it's nice to see the other side of this as well. Hopefully, I'll do y'all proud. Thanks for believing in me.
Appreciate it. Welcome aboard.
And you're allowed to wear the cowboy boots. That's permitted.
The boots are promoted. All right, thank you much for that. Moving on to academics, 9.1 approval for graduation of those members of the senior class of 2026 who have met all state and district requirements as of June 1st, 2026. That would be 129 potential graduates as of May 12th, 2026.
Motion approved. Second.
Comments on, hey, we haven't said yes yet.
They didn't vote yet.
Yeah, hold your rate.
That was 120.
2 more seconds.
129 was last year, 129?
130 something.
130?
Yeah.
Okay. Just curious, go ahead.
All right. No other comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Now you can say it.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Transportation, I think we can combine these 10.1 through 10.3.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Questions on these? Right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Budget and Finance approved to award bids for the 2026-2027 fiscal year.
So what is that, like the bids?
So that is our our paper, mostly the large purchases that we do. So
Okay.
it's gonna be our paper and then our athletic supplies. Those are the two
I
different.
saw that page, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And papers on this.
Mhm.
Oh,
Here we go.
And you wanna go back?
No, no.
I couldn't read it.
Double sided.
Side. I need a motion for.
Dry erase board.
Motion approved. Second.
Stone notches.
Any final comments on that one?
Have a good whiteboard.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? 11.2, approval of the proposed final general budget in the amount of $37,889,414 for the fiscal year 2026-2027. As proposed.
That will be roll call.
Yeah.
That needs to be a 6. 37,889,416. That's what our expenditure.
So that needs to be 37,889,416.
Yeah, yeah. $2, but.
I prefer it went the other way.
I know.
But if we also pulled out Sebastian stuff, that's. lower.
Well, this is
Yeah.
just the proposed. So
Proposed,
you're gonna
okay.
see,
So I'll be okay.
yeah,
You'll see
yeah,
those
so you're gonna
changes.
still
Alright.
see changes. Yeah,
Got
yeah,
it.
for that
Alright.
final, for what year recommend.
Okay.
Yes,
Alright.
yeah.
And this is the 3.3.
Yes, this is the 3.3.
You cannot exceed that, but you can
You
Go
can go
below it.
down.
go
Right,
below.
right.
so this is approving the range and.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
you're basically your cap.
Not voting on
This is-
3.
No,
No, not till
uh-uh.
June,
No.
June, right?
June 9th is
Ninth.
June 9th is
the
our.
final, so this is gonna
the
basically
end.
be, this is what we're gonna do, and then
Okay.
you can go.
I need a motion to approve.
Motion
to approve.
Second.
Any other comments, questions? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Albert is absent, so I have Mr. Badger,
Yes.
Mr. Eisenhower,
Yes.
Mr. Gardner,
Yes.
Mr. Housenick,
Yes.
Mrs. Kling,
Yes.
Ms. McCoy, Mrs. Meyer,
Yes.
and Mr. Young.
Yes.
Committee reports, Mr. Vice.
Thank you, sir. Policy Committee, Ms. McCoy.
I don't have anything tonight.
By you, Mrs. Meyer.
Just as I was gonna say, lots going on with class getting ready for summer, obviously with the elementary school program and the summer programs. They're always hiring, so if there's any teachers who want to do some things during the summer, they also have that availability for different student teachers and whatnot. So check out their LinkedIn page because there's always some fun. Let's try to repost and forward and Facebook too. So that's what I got for you right now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
LCTC, Mr. Eisenhower.
Not tonight.
Memorial Gardens, Mr. Housenick.
We're gonna have spring cleanup, this Saturday, May 16th. Miss Tara and the Key Club will bring most of the labor, with the normal volunteers. Their, Donnie Conkle donated the mulch they're gonna use. And, they're gonna overseed around some of the sidewalks where probably ice melt and that killed some of the grass.
What time does that start, sir?
9 o'clock,
You'll never get that grass back if you have salt on it. Completely destroys it.
9 o'clock.
Thank you. Anything more on the budget, Mrs. Meyer or Mr. Housenick? Montourzo Foundation, Mr. T.
They met May 4th. In the evening, they had a website discussion on whether to continue with their location on our website or go with a custom website. Their fundraiser, they are now looking at November 4th at Herman and Luther's for a fundraiser. They're getting a price on a banner and their next meeting is August 3rd.
Back here at the school,
Yes,
5:30.
at the high school, 5:30.
Thank you. Wellness, Ms. McCoy.
I don't have anything tonight.
Buildings and grounds, Mr. Albert is not here. Joe, you have anything to add to that?
Everything was great. I just want to thank us guys to do a great job.
Extracurricular, Mr. Housenick.
Okay,
We have 30 minutes.
this will be quick. Boys tennis team finished the year 11-5. All 5 losses were by 3-2 scores. So they were just on the verge there. The team lost in the quarterfinals of district competition. In singles, we lost in the quarterfinal, and in doubles, we lost in the semifinals. Junior high boys soccer team finished the season 11-7. Junior high girls soccer team finished the season 15-4-1. The JV softball team has a 6-0 record. Varsity softball team has a 12-6 record, and they still have 1 game to play Friday. Districts will start next week. Right now in our division for girls, we're 6th in the district, and it's probably the toughest division out of all the classifications for softball. Boys track, from as much as I could tell, the boys have been pretty successful this year. Almost all their meets are tri-meets. So they'll lose to one and win to the other. They're around 7-3. The girls, they're 1-9. At the PZAC meet last week, only Allie Eberhard in the pole vault and Karen Drees 2nd in the pole vault finish. That was our only first place finisher for boys or girls. The powder puff game was finally played last night, if that's what you want to call it. The seniors kind of overwhelmed the juniors to a score of 50-0.
Oh, God.
And we cut the times down in the second half too.
As it should be.
The JV baseball team's 6-2, and the varsity baseball team finished at 16-4. They just won in the bottom of the seventh inning, 6-5 over Southside while we're sitting here. So, they'll start districts. In Quad A and districts, there's only 2 teams with a winning record. So we'll be playing the district championship game against Athens at Bowman Field. So, that's it.
Yeah. Anything, Mr. Badger, to add?
No, that's good stuff.
Thank you. Safety and security, I'll go back to the personnel. Welcome to Mitch McMunn. Great addition to the staff. I was able to work with Mitch over his career, as was Mr. Eisenhower. A thank you goes out to Bill Holmes for his service from a full-time status to a part-time status. So we won't miss him too much. So those are 2 great, one loss to the staff, but a great addition to the staff also. And that would be all I have.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, this will take us to the final public comment portion of the evening. Again, residents and taxpayers to comment on matters of concerned official action or deliberation before the board.
I've got Callahan on Tuesday, virtually, and what I was trying to think of was, Steve, he featured his son did a, Stephen, Stephen for a, didn't pronounce it, but he did that, and, I was gonna say our track teams up and coming, did, we have them 2 brothers who've been, at it for years, it seems, and that girl that, she's doing, she's a 2A school. Distance runner, I don't know if she's still beating or not. But, I like to see, upgraded the boys and girls, thing that I think is in the hall. The divided trophy case in the hall. And that could be a start, and you can't say you can't look at the way back when. But you could start now. And we've had guys and girls that went to states. And they did well. And so that doesn't mean that they have the record for the times or the distances, but it's a start. And I like to see it. Somebody can continue it. The thing in that, and that came to me. There was just a kid from Loyalsock that just competed in the same thing up at Lock Haven. That's that Steve's son competed in, but Steve's son competed in it years ago.
I believe it's a steeplechase, is that?
Yeah, steeplechase, yeah, that's it. Yeah, steeplechase, that was trying to think of it, and couldn't think of it. And that's what he competed in, and he did better, he competed. So, I know, he has the record for the torso steeplechase. And like I said, that Martin, he has the record for the high hurdles, I think. Because they don't have the high hurdles anymore. And that, so there's 2, they could be on that 4th. So we got a good track team, and we've had guys go to states and with the different things over the years, and That's why I'd like to see records out of by the trophy cases out the halls, because they were once there and they could be out there again.
And I just wanted to reference the 9.9% increase in the cost of healthcare. Which is a partial justification, I assume, for the 3.3% tax increase. So if you take into consideration the general public, employers faced a minimum of 10% increase in group coverage. Let's see, there are small and large group employers. Seniors, between medical and supplemental premiums, was between 19 and 21% increase. Under 65, due to loss of subsidy, faced anywhere from 75 to 125% increase in cost of health care. Every one of these groups made concessions, whether it was an employer who cut the workforce or increased the cost to the employee of getting health care. Any one of them. They had to make concessions, they had to make adjustments to their own home budget or sacrifice patient needs. I believe that you folks should have done the same thing when you were taking into consideration a 9.9 increase justification in healthcare to raise taxes. Thank you.
Ron Snell, Lower Manor. First I want to thank Mrs. Meyer for bringing up the not a need, but something that will benefit our kindergarten through first graders in the long run. Because I agree with her 100% that there's too much screen time being done, and to start screen time at kindergarten and first grade is ludicrous. And the other thing is, I'm still holding out that the administration will come back with a budget that is closer to being balanced without using as much out of the fund balance and not as big of a tax increase. Thanks.
All right, seeing no one else in the room, we'll go to Zoom. All right, no hands raised in Zoom. That'll conclude the public comment portion, and then we will move for adjournment. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion
Second.
to adjourn.
Hang on, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Say I make a motion before I get.
Second, Jen, before you and stuff.